What's up, guys? Welcome to another session with Mr. Abdul Wahab. This is Hermes Test Prep, and we're back with the SAT practice test number 1. In the previous video, we worked on the first reading passage, and today we're going to take on the second reading passage together. And as we saw in the previous video, it is not really that hard to read a text or a passage on the SAT and then answer all of the questions that follow it correctly. As usual, we will begin with the introduction at the beginning of the text itself, because it's going to help us know what the passage is about. Okay, so this passage is adapted from Francis J. Flynn and Gabrielle S. Adams' Money Can't Buy Love. So right from the beginning, I begin to understand the main idea of the passage, and that's the fact that, which is quite clear enough from the title, from the this intro, that money itself can't buy feelings of love. So asymmetric beliefs about gift price and feelings of appreciation. So they're not gonna talk generally about the topic, but they're specifying. It's about asymmetric beliefs. When something is asymmetric, it's incongruous. It is not similar. It's different. Different beliefs about gift price and the feelings of appreciation. So this text is gonna talk to us about the correlation or the relationship between the price of a gift and the feelings of appreciation, both I guess, or I think, of the gift giver and the gift receiver. So 2008 by Elsevier Incorporation. So let's begin immediately. Every day, millions of shoppers hit the stores in full force, both online and on foot, searching frantically for the perfect gift. Last year, Americans spent over $30 billion at retail stores in the month of December alone. So that's a lot of money spent in 1 month, which is, of course, the Christmas season. Aside from purchasing holiday gifts, most people regularly buy presents for other occasions throughout the year, including weddings, birthdays, anniversaries, graduations, and baby showers. This frequent experience of gift giving can engender means create, okay, ambivalent feelings in gift givers. Now, what do I mean by ambivalent? Okay, ambivalent, you could divide it into two pieces, ambi and valent. When something is ambi, basically it is it's not of a single source. It kind of fluctuates. There is no singularity in it. So ambivalent feelings, different opposing or conflicting feelings in gift givers, okay? Many enjoy the opportunity to buy presents because gift giving offers a powerful means to build stronger bonds with one's closest peers. So here the authors of this essay, they're arguing that people love to give gifts because it builds stronger bonds or relationships with one's closest peers, or the ones who are extremely close to us, our friends and our family, for example. So at the same time, many are afraid of the thought of buying gifts. They worry that their purchases will disappoint rather than delight the intended recipients. So the other half of gift buyers and givers, they are afraid, they dread buying gifts because they're afraid that they're going to disappoint whoever is going to receive that gift. Now, anthropologists, okay, now the word anthropologists, it also could be divided into two pieces, anthropo and logists. Basically, anthropo is the study of human beings in a society. Anthropologists are the people who study human beings within societies or communities. So they describe gift giving as a positive social process, okay, serving various political, religious, and psychological functions. Economists, however, offer a less favorable view. So basically, economists, or people who study the economy, they have a negative view of gift giving. According to Walt Fogel, who's probably an economist, okay, gift giving represents an objective waste of resources. So according to economists, it's a waste of money, or to a certain extent at least. So people buy gifts that recipients would not choose to buy on their own. So that's the main problem according to Walt Fogel. That is, we buy gifts that the people themselves would not have bought themselves. Or at least they wouldn't have spent as much money to purchase. So basically, we might get someone a gift that's worth, let's say, $100, but that person would not have gotten the same thing for $100. That person might have wanted something similar, but for less money. That is, if he were to buy it. So a phenomenon referred to as the dead weight loss of Christmas. To wit, givers are likely to spend $100 to purchase a gift that receivers would spend only $80 to buy themselves. This deadweight loss suggests that gift givers are not very good at predicting what gifts others will appreciate. So basically, the main problem here is that, according to economists, people have a problem predicting what sort of a gift the other person or the gift receiver would like to have or would like to get. So that's why we make some, according to them, of course, some unwise judgments concerning this whole gift giving and receiving process. That in itself is not surprising. Okay, so this is not surprising to social psychologists. Okay, so they find that quite natural. Research has found that people often struggle to take account of others' perspectives. That is, we can't put ourselves in other people's shoes. Their insights, our opinions, are subject to egocentrism, social projection, and multiple attribution errors. What is surprising is that gift givers have considerable experience acting as both gift givers and gift recipients, but nevertheless tend to overspend each time they set out to purchase a meaningful gift. Okay, that is, the meaning of these 4 lines is the fact that although gift givers are also gift receivers at certain other times, they have a hard time kind of predicting what the other person would like to have, or would like to, what the other person, the gift receiver, would appreciate more in a gift. Okay, so although gift givers and receivers, one day you're a gift giver, one day you're a gift receiver, and although we go in and out of these two states, we have a hard time kind of seeing eye to eye with each other or understanding what the other person would consider as a meaningful gift. So in the present research, we propose a unique psychological explanation for this overspending problem. That gift givers, okay, so gift givers, they equate how much they spend with how much recipients will appreciate the gifts. So basically, we tend to spend more on gifts because we think the more expensive the gift, the more the receiver will appreciate it. So the more expensive the gift, there it is, the stronger a gift recipient's feeling of appreciation. That's what we think. Although a link between the gift price and feelings of appreciation might seem intuitive to gift givers, such an assumption may be unfounded. So basically, although we might naturally be inclined to think that there's a strong correlation or connection between the price of a gift and the feeling of appreciation, this is actually an unfounded assumption. Unfounded means there's no evidence for it, which means it could be wrong. So indeed, we suggest, okay, that gift recipients will be less inclined, okay, the receiver of the gift will be less inclined to base their feelings of appreciation on the magnitude of a gift than givers assume. So basically, the authors of this passage or this essay are suggesting that gift recipients are not going to base their feelings of the appreciation. They're not going to appreciate the gift more or less depending on how much the giver is spending on it. That's not the major concern of the receiver of the gift. He doesn't care much how much you spend on it. So why do gift givers assume that gift price is closely linked to gift recipients' feelings of appreciation? Perhaps givers believe that the bigger, more expensive gifts, again they're repeating almost the same idea, they communicate, or they basically they send the message, they convey stronger signals of thoughtfulness and consideration. So basically the gift giver believes that the more he spends on the gift, the stronger these feelings of thoughtfulness and consideration and care and love will be towards the receiver. Now, according to Kammerer, okay, and others, Kammerer is probably a sociologist or a psychologist or a person studying this whole phenomenon. So gift giving represents, okay, a symbolic ritual, okay, whereby gift givers attempt to signal, okay, so the gift giver is trying to signal their positive attitudes toward the intended recipient and their willingness to invest resources in a future relationship. So basically what Cameron here is trying to say, and others of course, is that gift giving is a very important ritual. It's very symbolic, because what we intend by it is that we want to strengthen these bonds among us, that we are willing to pay money in this relationship. So that means we value it and we want to develop it, and sometimes even take it to the next level. So in this sense, gift givers may be motivated to spend more money on a gift in order to send a stronger signal to their intended recipient that we are willing to actually invest money in this relationship. So as for gift recipients, they may not understand or perceive smaller and larger gifts as representing smaller and larger signals of thoughtfulness and consideration. So although this is how the gift giver perceives the whole process of giving a gift, the one receiving the gift is not exactly perceiving it the same way. He's not connecting the price of the gift with the fact that you do want to invest in this relationship. So the notion of gift givers and gift recipients being unable to account for the other party's perspective seems puzzling. The fact that the gift givers and gift recipients, they cannot basically understand each other's point of view. This seems puzzling or confusing because people slip in and out, okay, of these roles every day on a daily basis, and in some cases multiple times in the course of the same day. We do this many times, okay. One moment we are giving gifts, the other we are receiving gifts. So yet, despite the extensive experience, although we have a lot of experience that people have as both gift givers and receivers, they often struggle to transfer information gained from one role as giver and apply it in another complementary role as a receiver. So in theoretical terms, again, the gift giver and the receiver, they are failing to see eye to eye with each other, or basically to understand the perspectives or the points of view of each other. So in theoretical terms, people fail to use, okay, information about their own preferences and experiences in order to produce more efficient outcomes or more efficient results in their exchange relations. So in practical terms, people spend hundreds of dollars each year on gifts, but somehow never learn to calibrate or fix their gift expenditures according to personal insight. Although we do have the experience, and we do know that we ourselves, for example, do not appreciate the person more just because he spent more on a gift, we fail to understand that the other person is gonna hold almost the same opinion most of the time, of course, and that this other person is not gonna appreciate our gift more just because we're spending more on it. So that's the whole idea of the passage. As you can see, it's not really that challenging, to be quite honest. I mean, the thoughts are quite clear. It gets actually a bit repetitive. So let's take a look. Of course, you have here a diagram or a bar graph. We're gonna talk about it in a second. So the authors most likely used the examples in lines 1 to 9 of the passage from every to the word showers to highlight so the lines we're talking about are 1 to 9. So every day, millions of shoppers hit the stores in full force, both online and on foot, okay, searching frantically for the perfect gift. Last year, Americans spent $30 billion in December alone. And then they talk about how we buy presents for other occasions, aside from Christmas, of course, that is in weddings, baby showers, graduations, anniversaries, and birthdays. Now, the authors are using these examples in lines 1 to 9 of the passage to highlight what exactly. That's what we're going to try to find out. So the regularity with which people shop for gifts. Well, it does talk about regularity. Okay, I like the word regularity. It means how often we buy or shop for gifts. Okay, so I'm going to keep A aside because I like this option. Recent increase in the amount of money spent on gifts. Now, it didn't actually say that the amount of money spent on gifts has increased. It's just that we spend a whole lot of money. So that's why I'm going to cancel B. Anxiety gift shopping causes for consumers. It didn't talk about the anxiety that gift shopping causes for consumers. Lines 1 to 9 didn't mention this. Number of special occasions involving gift giving. Now, they did mention a few special occasions, but that was not the point. Okay, I mean, they weren't just listing them for the sake of listing. They were listing them just to show how regularly, okay, we shop or buy gifts. So A is our best option. In line 10, the word ambivalent most nearly means. So let's take a look here at line 10. So this frequent experience of gift giving can engender ambivalent feelings, okay, in gift givers. Many relish the opportunity to buy presents because gift giving offers a powerful means to build stronger bonds. At the same time, many dread the thought of buying gifts. So here we have people who relish as opposed to people who dread. Okay, so those are the two feelings, okay, which are ambivalent. Now, relishing something is quite the opposite of dreading something. So when something is ambivalent, we can safely conclude that the word ambivalent actually means opposing or basically opposite to each other. So let's take a look at the options that we have. So we have unrealistic. This doesn't seem to be the meaning intended by the word. Conflicted. Now, when something is in conflict, it's in opposition. So I'm liking B. Apprehensive means fearful. Now, that doesn't look like the meaning at all. Supportive, not really. Again, so conflicted or opposing, that's the word we're looking for. Now, the authors indicate that people value gift giving because they feel it. Okay, so according to the author, they love gift giving because they feel it functions as a form of self-expression. They didn't say that we like giving gifts because it's a form of self-expression. It's an inexpensive way to show appreciation. Actually, they are telling us that gift giving could be quite expensive, that we tend to pay more on gifts than the recipient would pay on the same item. So it requires the gift recipient to reciprocate. They didn't talk about... they didn't say that we give gifts and so that the other person would reciprocate. Can serve to strengthen our relationship. Well, true. Okay, and I could go back to that part that mentioned this. Okay, so if we go here to this paragraph, I know I read it here somewhere. Okay, so found it off and started taking into account. Hold on. When they talked about the strengthening of the bond, so here, there it is. So the opportunity to buy presents because gift giving offers a powerful means to build stronger, okay, bonds with one's closest peers. So those are the lines that I'm using actually to answer this question. So now, which choice provides the best evidence for the answer to the previous question? Again, they are the lines, I guess, that we just read, which is basically between 10 and 13. From many relish the opportunity up until the point just before peers. So even without taking a look at the other options, I know that this is the right answer because I actually based my answer for question number 13 on the information on those lines. Now, the social psychologists mentioned in paragraph 2, lines 17 to 34, would likely describe the dead weight loss phenomenon as... So let's take a look. So here they talked about the social psychologists, okay, in the second paragraph. So let's take a look here. That in itself is not surprising to social psychologists, okay? So if you remember the whole idea of dead weight loss, which doesn't seem to be surprising to social psychologists. So let's take a look. Predictable. Well, when something is predictable, it's not surprising. So I'm liking A. Questionable. When something is questionable, we cannot trust it. But that's not what they meant. Disturbing, not really. Unprecedented, it's not new. It's actually a cultural phenomenon, so it's actually quite old. So predictable, it is not surprising, so it is predictable. Now, the passage indicates that the assumption made by gift givers in lines 41 to 44 may be, let's take a look at that assumption. Line 41 begins here, so that gift givers equate how much they spend with how much recipients will appreciate the gift. The more expensive the gift, the stronger the gift recipient's feelings of appreciation. So basically, the authors, okay, the passage indicates that this assumption that the more expensive the gift, the stronger the feelings of appreciation. This may be insincere. Not exactly. This assumption is not insincere, neither is it unreasonable. What the passage actually said is that this assumption may be unfounded. And when we say unfounded, again, it means that we don't have evidence for it, so it may be incorrect or wrong. So I'm going to go with C quite immediately, okay? Substantiate, when something's substantiated, you have evidence for it, so that's actually the opposite, okay? So, which choice provides the best evidence for the answer to the previous question? Let's take a look at those lines 53 to 65. and then 75 to 78. Let's take a look. So we need evidence again, okay, to the fact that this assumption is incorrect. So we're going to begin from 53. So here's 53. So perhaps givers believe that bigger gifts convey stronger signals of thoughtfulness and consideration. This is actually not a piece of evidence for what we just read. So A is out of the question. According to Kammerer and others, gift giving represents a symbolic ritual whereby gift givers attempt to signal their positive attitudes towards the intended recipient and their willingness to invest resources in a future relationship. Now, this is explaining things, but this is not actually evidence that the assumption is wrong. So, in this sense, gift givers may be motivated to spend more money on a gift in order to send a stronger signal to their intended recipient. As for the gift recipients, they may not construe. Take a look at this line. So, as for the gift recipients, they may not construe, they may not understand or perceive smaller and larger gifts as representing smaller and larger signals of thoughtfulness and consideration. So this is actually the evidence that we're looking for. Okay, so this is lines 63 to 65. So again, without even taking a look at the lines of D, I mean, you could if you want to, but I'm quite confident with this answer. So as it is used in line 54, convey most nearly means, now again, we read this just now, so they use the word convey stronger signals of appreciation or thoughtfulness or consideration. So basically, let's take a look at the options. Transport, counteract, exchange, communicate. Definitely communicate, okay? Because we're not transporting anything, okay, and we're not counteracting or fighting anything. Neither are we exchanging, giving and taking. We just want to communicate a stronger signal of consideration and thoughtfulness. So the authors refer to work by Kammerer and others in line 56 in order to. So this whole Kammerer issue, which is basically right here, okay, when they said, according to Kammerer, gift giving represents a symbolic ritual whereby gift givers attempt to signal their positive attitudes toward the intended recipient and their willingness to invest resources in a future relationship. Why did they mention this? Okay, I would say because they're trying to explain the previous assumption, the fact that more expensive gifts, gift givers think that more expensive gifts are actually more effective, or that they will engender stronger feelings of appreciation from the receiver. So they gave us this example, okay, to try and explain this thought. So let's take a look at the options that we have. So offer an explanation. I'm liking this one. Introduce an argument. No, they didn't introduce an argument with this sentence. Question a motive. They're not questioning any motive. Support a conclusion. Not really. They're trying to explain something or elaborate or elucidate on a certain point. Now the graph. Now we get to the graph. Following the passage offers evidence that gift givers base their predictions of how much a gift will be appreciated on. Now, of course, by now we know what they would appreciate on what they would base their predictions of how much a gift will be appreciated on. It's probably going to be on the price. So we go back up just to make sure. So givers perceived and recipients actual gift appreciation. So here we have the giver and here we have the recipient. So when you have a less expensive gift, okay, with a less expensive gift, that's the dark gray color, the giver, okay, expects the receiver to appreciate almost this much, we could say. However, the receiver is actually appreciating it much more. With a more expensive gift, okay, with the more expensive gift, the recipient is actually appreciating it less, okay, than that. So the giver is expecting more appreciation with the more expensive gift. But actually, the opposite is happening. With the less expensive gift, there's more appreciation, okay? So we go back down. So here, so the graph following the passage offers evidence that gift givers base their predictions of how much a gift will be appreciated on the appreciation level of gift recipients, the monetary value of the gift, their own desires of the gifts they purchase, their relationship with the gift recipients. Of course, it is the monetary value of the gift. Okay, that's what they base their feelings of appreciation on. Again, take a look at the one with the giver. Okay, with the less expensive gift, they perceive less appreciation. Okay, with the more expensive gift, they expect more appreciation. As for the recipient, with the less expensive gift, there's more appreciation on behalf of the receiver, while there is less appreciation on behalf of the receiver with the more expensive gift. So the opposite is actually true. So the authors would likely attribute the differences in gift giver and recipient mean appreciation as represented in the graph to an inability to shift perspective. I like this option because again, they talked about how we are unable to we are unable, here it is, to account for the other party's perspective. We're unable to put each other in each other's shoes, basically. We're unable to utilize, again, take a look at this part, we're unable to utilize information about their own preferences and experience in order to produce more efficient outcomes in their exchange relations. So basically, here for this question, okay, I do like A. An increasingly materialistic culture, that's not what the authors refer to. Our culture is not becoming more materialistic. A growing opposition to gift giving, nothing of the sort was actually mentioned or talked about in the passage. A misunderstanding of intentions. There is no misunderstanding of intentions, there's just failure to shift perspective. There's failure of perceiving the gift from the gift receiver's point of view. So there's inability to shift perspective. So that's it. That's the second passage. I know I spoke a lot, but then again, this is reading, so I should be speaking a lot trying to explain this. I hope all of this is actually clear. If you have any questions, make sure you put them down in the comments section. Make sure you like this video if you like it, and then make sure you subscribe to our channel. Support our initiative to actually deliver high quality English education to thousands of people out there. Thank you a lot for watching this video, and see you soon on the next one.